We had a conversation with our pal Mike Sando, all things ESPN, all things football, and one of the things where Mike wrote about, and his stuff is always interesting, but it was about cornerbacks specifically and their importance to teams, and he actually looked at a bunch of guys who had signed some big deals and was kind of, I'd say the results were mixed, to say the very least, and it's obviously something very important to the Seahawks with all of their young players coming up. Maybe the biggest of whom is going to be Richard Sherman.
Yeah, and the problem is he comes up at the same time as Earl Thomas, and then you've got a year later with Russell Wilson. So you've got three guys who you expect are going to command huge dollars. And the trick for the Seahawks is how do you manage it? And with the salary cap in the NFL, it's always very tricky. They can manipulate the salary cap and stagger things and find the loopholes, if you will, to make it all work. But sometimes you get in a position where you're paying so much to a couple of players that the rest of the team sort of goes without in terms of addressing needs there. So you wonder, are they going to be able to pay him what they think he's going to command? Now, Darrelle Revis has the standard right now, $16 million for a year, although none of it is guaranteed.
Right.
Again, another loophole. We'll see. But yeah, it was interesting to see the payout or the payoff, which hasn't been great for a lot of cornerbacks.
No.
One of them we saw just get cut in Nnamdi Asomugha.
Well, you know, what's also interesting about it, too, with Revis, and you talked about it non-guaranteed, he's at $16 million. Next guy's at 10. So, I mean, does Sherman feel like he should be paid more than Revis? If he does, I don't know how the Seahawks are going to be able to do it. I really, truly...
They won't.
Yeah, I don't think they will either. If he wants to be the highest paid guy after that, which would be about 11 or 12, that's a different story. I mean, I could see them getting interested in that, stretching something out, figuring that out. So in the case of this, I think a lot of it depends on Sherman. I think, look, there's no question you're re-signing Earl Thomas. There is no question you're re-signing Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there's any question that you'd like to re-sign Richard Sherman. But that's going to depend on what he wants to do, I think.
Yeah, if he goes heavy on that number and says, that's the number I want, that's the number I'm going to get, I don't know that it happens here, but again, you point to the fact that it's not guaranteed. It becomes a series of one-year deals for a guy like Revis, whereas maybe the Seahawks say, listen, we're going to pay you 11 a year, and you're going to have this much of it guaranteed no matter what in a signing bonus. It becomes more attractive. You're not assuming that risk year in, year out. I think he wants to be here. I feel like they're going to find a way because he is the face and the attitude of that defense. I think he brings much more than just shutting down that receiver on that day. I think he's got much more value to this franchise.
I agree.